Well, as we are in the final stretch of Epic Universe before it opens on May 22nd, and after hearing about team member family previews being extended until April 16th, we finally have some news about when annual pass holder previews will be, as that was announced today. And there's also some early booking opportunities for Helios Grand Hotel that popped up today as well. So we're going to read through all this and get some thoughts on it. So hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic. And this first article is from Blog Mickey. So Universal announces annual pass holder previews for Epic Universe, and the tickets are now on sale. Annual pass holder previews of Epic Universe will begin on April 17th and run daily through May 8th. Prices range from $144 during some of the early preview dates to $123 for later dates. You can currently, they have a link in the article here where you can get in the queue for this. And we were wondering how long, when annual pass holder previews were announced, how long would they run for? This is roughly 20 some days, so less than a month. And these are going to be, obviously you're going to have to pay for these. So it looks like April 17th is looking at $144. The cheapest being the end of April at $123 in the beginning of May. So it seems like it's discounted more into May as it gets closer to the park opening. Not sure as to why, but that is what the availability looks like as of right now. So I haven't heard if any of the days have sold out yet. But that is where it looks like currently. And, after the team member previews were extended, I think the biggest question was going to be how long into, up until the park opens, were the previews going to run. Looks like they're only running until May 8th, as they, I'm sure they're going to use this week, basically almost 2 weeks here to get the park ready for the opening day and things like that. But that is where it stands on there. So the rumor that I had heard was true that they were going to charge for these. Now, I had heard some of the pricing being around like the $160 mark, which I actually never believed that was going to be the case, considering, annual pass holders could get tickets, single-day tickets on the opening time frame for around $150. So I never thought it was going to be $160. So, being in the $123 range there, you're still getting a little bit of a discount. The park is closer to being fully operational after the team member previews. And this park it's still in rehearsal. So there is, obviously, you have the potential of rides not working. I don't believe, at least when we were there, not all the food stands are open and running. So, technical rehearsals, things can go down more frequently. So this is one reason why it's discounted, as they're still working through a lot of issues. Now, there's no word on if Battle of the Ministry is going to be running. I've felt all along and heard all along that ride, they were wanting it to be, get the ride capacity issue fixed before they really got into annual pass holder previews and obviously getting the park open. It seems like they were, obviously, the media was able to ride it, so they had it riding for them on some level, but no word from Universal if that ride is going to be available. If it is, during annual pass holder previews, the other benefit would be there's no express pass running. So I would imagine if that ride's running, you are going to see massive wait times potentially for that. Now, I don't know if they would do virtual line or virtual queue for Battle of the Ministry during a pass holder preview. Maybe they test out that system, because that is something I do think, or I'm not going to be surprised, I guess I should say. I'm not going to predict it, but Battle of the Ministry very well could be a virtual line attraction opening day, at least for the first few months or for a while for that attraction. So that's unknown, but if Battle of the Ministry is running, and we don't know the capacity of how many people, how many tickets are selling for these previews, but you potentially could be able to ride that ride without the potential 7 to 8 hour wait time that queue has been designed for. So that's something we did learn from the media previews and things like that, is that queue is designed for a 7 hour wait or so, which is very high. Obviously, I don't think that's something they're anticipating all the time. As you look at, like, say, Flight of Passage in Pandora, that queue as well, I think, is set up for like 6 hours or 7 hours or something like that. So massive queue, potentially is going to have high wait times here, but we don't know how Universal is going to handle in terms of the line, or if they're going to do a virtual queue for this, or if it's going to be available at all during annual pass holder previews. So if you are looking to go and you want to go a little bit cheaper and you're an annual pass holder, this is not a bad time to do that. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. I had also heard that the preview tickets here are also available for Universal card holders, the Visa card holders, military, and Universal Studios hotel guests, I suppose, during some of these dates here. I don't know if that's accurate, so if anybody out there knows, let us know in the comments, but that is also what I have at least understood, or at least I've heard about the previews here, but we don't fall into the other categories other than annual pass holders, so I can't confirm that on my end. And then Helios Grand Hotel, they popped up and said there's some dates available. So starting April 17th is the earliest availability that I was able to see. We have rooms starting at $338 per night. and this is on a nightly basis here, up to, I mean, if you want to go in the big boy rooms, $1,400 for the presidential suite. So a lot of these are available, which is quite a discount compared to opening day. Opening day prices are $789 is where it's starting on a nightly basis. And then a lot of these room levels are actually sold out. The presidential suite is sold out. So somebody paid a very pretty penny, or a few people paid a very pretty penny for the presidential suite on the park opening date. So I was looking around at some different dates. It looks like that opening, or the first day there on April 17th is the cheapest one I've seen. That one being at $338. Everything else I'm seeing the cheapest, a few months out or even later in April is in the $400 range. So if you are wanting to stay at Helios Grand Hotel, getting in early can save you some money there, it looks like. Obviously, hotel availability and pricing can depend on, demand and things like that. But I don't imagine it's going to go down in price too much if you're looking to stay at this hotel. And we had another video talking about there were some images that you were able to see of Helios that Universal, there's like a virtual tour that Universal had. I guess they kind of took it offline. The link's there, but the virtual tour is no longer available. I wasn't too impressed with the views of the room, or at least how the room looked. And in this here's from Tim Tracker on X. These rooms, to me, like the bathroom looks okay. But overall, I will say this hotel looks beautiful, but the rooms I'm not super impressed with. Like if you look right here, I mean, first off, I'm not a big fan of carpet in hotel rooms, and they decide to go with carpet here. And they just look very kind of basic in many ways. Like the headboard, I'm not understanding why the flowers are there. And personally, I like the headboard better that was at Stella Nova and Terra Luna, as it's the same style they're doing here, but the ambient lighting, I think, had a cooler effect in those, and the graphic over the wall. This one just has a blue wall behind it, and the curtains, like it kind of reminds me, if I'm being quite honest, of like my grandma's guest room that I grew up with. Like it's really not far off that design, and it's got some gold touches in there, which makes sense for Helios. But overall, the design of the rooms to me doesn't match the rest of the hotel. Like it's just a very basic counter. In the ones that Stella Nova and Terra Luna had kind of a bench there, and like it's a unique little setup how they did that. But I will just being honest, there's not much on the walls. I'm just kind of underwhelmed by the rooms themselves. Now, obviously, you look in here, one of the major benefits of staying here is the view that you have into Celestial Park, into Epic Universe, and you can walk straight into this new theme park from the hotel. And everything else about the hotel, I do think looks great. I'm a big fan of the Riviera over at Disney World, and this one to me has a lot of Riviera vibes with a celestial spin to it. But the rooms in general, I will just say from what I've been seeing, I'm pretty just underwhelmed by. Like even these bed coverings here, it just looks like my grandma's guest room, really. For me, looking from the outside in, the weakest part about this is the rooms and how they look, and even like the drapes as well. I think those kind of look old, or at least like they don't make a lot of sense to me for the theming of the hotel. But I do like, and it looks like the windows are bigger than some of the images, but it's overall about Helios, the rooms are just, I think, the weakest part of it. But we finally have news about the annual pass holder previews. Now for us, I think what we're going to do is go to the annual pass holder previews, and then we were planning on going opening day and the second day when Epic Universe opens. I think we're going to take that second day and move it to a later date, sometime maybe later in the summer, maybe in the fall, and then also just not use, we were going to stay in a hotel during that little trip there, so I think we're just going to do a day trip on opening day to check that out, because this will be the third time if we're able to go to annual pass holder previews. We're able to thankfully be able to go to the previews previously last weekend. So if we're able to go to annual pass holder previews and then opening day, I think that's what we're going to do. So ultimately, it'll probably end up saving us money, not having to spend money on a hotel and just moving that date later on. So I think that's how we're going to go about it. But you do have some options here. So far, I haven't heard any days are sold out. They may very well sell out, but at this point, I haven't heard anything about any specific days selling out yet for the preview. So if you're looking to go, you probably still have an opportunity to get some tickets. There is a queue when you get in there. It's been roughly 20 minutes, 30 minutes for people to wait. So it may not be that bad. And probably later in the day, maybe in the afternoon, it'll die down a little bit. But I would imagine this evening when people get off work could be busy again with people trying to get some tickets. But if you want to go to annual pass holder previews, you can do that. And if you want to stay at Helios Grand Hotel before Epic Universe opens, you can also do that at a little bit of a discounted rate. So we're getting close. Park's almost open. It's guests are coming in. Guests have been coming in now, and your pass holders are going to be able to come in. And the photo ban and the video filming policy has changed as well, so people will be able to film when they're in here. So a lot more footage and views of Epic Universe. A lot more opinions are going to be out there, and then hopefully this leads to an opening day where there's not many hiccups. I mean, that is always something you worry about, especially with these high-tech rides and a brand new theme park, that there's going to be issues on opening day. So hopefully throughout all these previews and annual pass holder previews, that a lot of these issues will be worked out in opening day. While I'm sure there's still going to be things that go down from time to time, hopefully it goes off really pretty smooth and people have a great experience in the park, whether they're going opening day or during the previews and later on in the year. But either way, that's going to be it though for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel as we do lots of coverage here of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about annual pass holder previews and are you planning on going? And until next time, we will see you in the parks.